Welcome to the Carbitrage Podcast, episode 199 at last. I'm Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinitsky.
We are screen capturing the notes.
That's fine.
There we go. Hi.
Hi.
Hello, viewer.
Hi. Hello, still remaining from last episode 3 Twitch viewers, and then all of our soon-to-be audience on the audio and video version.
But I'm talking to them individually because they are likely not listening to it in a single group. That's why we have.
I hope not, because social distancing is still the norm.
So hello,
So
viewer.
get away from the other people if you're near them.
Yeah.
And
also,
then,
it's better for views because to
Hi.
reference people as
yes,
one.
actually, tell the person that you're too close to also watch or
Yeah.
listen to
On
Carbitrage,
their own.
and then go away.
And then they
Perfect.
Can, you
This
get
is good now.
double the viewers. That's why I say viewer now.
Is that like double mint gum?
Yes.
Nice.
Viewer. Anyway, hello, viewer.
I'm drinking some delicious coffee
As am I.
made from a Maca Master because amazingnesses.
I had a coffee and now I'm drinking a Heineken. I'm drinking Heineken number 04380486.
You're gonna get this flagged because somebody's gonna think that you're trying to do some like secret code.
Oh, like those Russian broadcasts where they just like say random number.
Yeah.
Oh, to activate sleeper agents, or is it
Yeah.
something else? Oh, okay.
No, it was something like that. But like, if like, back in the '60s, like if you went on like pirate radio stations, like you just come across ones where it's just like
Numbers.
4, 3, 8, 0, 1, 7.
They spoke English in
6.
Russia in the 60s?
No, like, it was. They were emanating from Russia, but they were in English numbers. Blake has a recording of one on one of his computers.
That's very,
It's
very
really
strange.
spooky.
Yeah, it's like the creepiest thing you've ever heard.
Because it's so monotone, and then like there's like literal silence. Like there's not the static in the background, you know, that you normally hear.
Mhm.
It's like just the numbers. Just
It's
the numbers.
really, really.
So
It's
somebody
just-
bought some really good equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
There's no
they're
hiss.
Yeah. exactly.
It's just it's so bizarre. It's so spooky.
Hmm.
Time travelers, probably.
Yeah, they should
Telling
have
us
given
about
us the
2020.
vaccine. Yeah. Or giving us the, whatever that
Actually, if you listen to it,
was.
it's the gene sequence for COVID
Oh,
19.
Turns out it goes on for a month.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. You've got the first
Oh,
topic.
okay. We talked about beer because that's what we were talking about. The whole thing with Russian numbers. Anyway,
And coffee.
great news, everyone!
Ah!
The great news is my favorite truck sold in America, kinda, is back.
Oh.
It's
Oh?
the new Mahindra Roxor because FCA had them stop selling them in America because they look too similar to FCA. The FCA
Aha.
had licensed them to sell. So they redesigned the front end so it didn't look the same. And FCA is still bitching and moaning.
It's
Yeah, but they lifted the ban because of it.
Yeah, but they're still bitching and moaning about the door. Because the
That's-
door's
well,
a door, whatever.
okay.
But
That's a door-shaped door. Like, I'm sorry, Jeep, you had some basic design.
yeah, you designed a door. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, but the hinges are on the outside.
No, they aren't. There's no hole. There's just holes for where hinges would go if you so happen to source a door from a CJ2A. However, not gonna lie, on its own, I kind of like this new redesign. I think it's a cool look.
It's very vintage. It looks like it's got a lot of 60s chutzpah to it.
Yeah, it's like this is a very cool redesign on a 1960s design. They could have really screwed the pooch on this one.
But I don't think there's enough to sue. Like,
Yeah, no,
that's-
it's obviously different enough, but
Yeah.
I think
and
it's-
like one of the thing I hate about Jeep suing people for lookalikes is the Jeep is like what a car looks like. It's just the bare bones.
Mhm.
So it's like, why are you suing?
You just
over the
engineered
bare
a
bones?
simple thing.
like imagine if Day Dion Bouton, like just started suing everybody that had a front engine rear wheel drive platform
Imagine
car.
if a person that started baking bread from wheat in another country saw, after traveling, bread being baked by another person in
Yeah.
another country and it looked similar.
Exactly. It'd be awful.
You would be ass mad.
Yeah.
Your body would be hot with rage. That is what's happened here.
So
Mahindra has cooked some bread. Jeep has cooked some bread. Physics dictates the shape is roughly similar.
yes.
Ta-da!
It's
Why?
like, what was invented on like almost every differently?
Every
Drugs
patent.
and booze.
Not sure, but let us know once you find out.
Yeah, it's an archaeological thing that I'm supposed to remember. That
Once you remember
has
it, we
left
can
my
always,
brain
if it comes
because
back to you,
hormones.
let us know, and
I
we
think
can.
it was the wheel or math or something. No, it was some form of math. Number 0.
Meth,
then-
meth
oh,
is
yeah,
easy
the-
to make
The
with everything.
The concept of zero is actually independently created, like 4 different times. Like there's a
lot of
there's
things,
like a
I guess,
Babylonian
There's
zero.
a ton
there's
of stuff that
Chinese
was
zero.
development of similar things.
There was a Mayan zero, and then there was, I think, like
Yeah, there's
a
definitely
Aboriginal
quite
zero.
a few things that were
Europe did
invented
not do their
independently.
own zero because Europeans are dumb.
Dum 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 dum.
But anyway, so
Color
I
television
like
was another thing like that.
I like the front end of this because like they obviously just kept the same grill shape. Like you still have this whole grill there, but this one body colored line, it looks
Yeah,
like
I
it's
like it.
the recessed headlights you see on like a '60s era car.
I was gonna say this looks like a piece of high-tech kitchen equipment from the 1960s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks really rad. Like I'm a big fan of this, and this
I
kind of
like
like
the little cutout too
yeah,
to expose the wheels a little bit more.
yeah, that's really
it's just
cool.
A little subtle.
It's
cutesy
really,
little
really
bit.
cool. And I think that this is one of the things that Indian manufacturers do not get enough credit for, is they take a lot of designs that have been around for ages and they reinvent them and like keep them really true to their form.
Oh, but Ford did that with the 2005 Mustang.
Well, I mean, keeping the physical form and modernizing it. Because if you see like a 2006 Hindustan Ambassador versus the original 1960s Hindustan Ambassador, like it actually looks, it's obviously modernized, but it looks cool. It's not like a Volkswagen Santana made in China where they just gaffed it on like Mark V headlights onto a Mark II Jetta. They actually modernized it. They gave it like modern bumpers and everything. You look at it, and it looks closer to like a late model, like a Series 3 Jaguar XJ, where
Okay.
like in the 90s where they modernized it and they gave it the different taillights, where it's like you still have largely the same metal from the 1960s, but it looks modern.
Right.
And so they've done that with the Hindustan Ambassador. They've done it again with the Mahindra, and then also like all of Royal Enfield is that. They all look like the original 1940s
yeah.
motorcycles, but they're modern. And I think it's just really cool how Indian manufacturers can do that better than anybody else. Nobody else can do that nearly as well. They're either Britain where they just don't, or other countries just really screw the pooch like Volkswagen does. So
That's a high bar
Yeah,
for
so-
pooch screwing.
like they're really bad.
Colby.
So there's a million ways they could have possibly fucked this up, and they didn't. And I'm very happy about this.
Congratulations for
Yeah.
not messing up.
I'm very
So,
very happy about
They're-
this.
Yeah, the FCA is still complaining, but I think we'll be okay now.
Yeah, and plus it looks honestly better.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
It
it
doesn't look like a Jeep, so that's a good thing. And using that as a segue.
Actually, once you can also still put
you
on
ruined my segue.
you can still put on the Jeep bits if you want. But tell me about Jeeps.
Speaking of Jeeps that are sold in this country, the the JL pickup truck that everyone wanted is selling like shit.
Oh, because
Yeah.
nobody wanted that.
Because
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
sees them now and go, oh,
Yeah, they look
Because the
terrible.
4 people that were really loud on the internet saying they would buy one have
Bought.
leased one.
Yes, least one.
And now there's like $9,000 purchase incentives on the hood, $249 a month leases.
I'd be inclined to buy one if I could
I've
get with a
literally-
manual. You cannot.
Yeah, that's true. You can't even on the 3.6. That is dumb.
Yeah, they have a manual variant they could have made, and they've chosen not to make it, and that's
Okay.
why that is a very large contributing factor on why I hate this truck.
So I know we complain about this
Oh,
truck
honey,
a
you
lot.
need to look at the microphone.
We complain about this truck
There
a
you go.
lot,
Mhm.
but I've literally heard random strangers on the street being like, I
Yeah, look at the
hate,
microphone. Sorry.
like, I've heard like random strangers on the street being like, oh yeah, those Jeep trucks are just the ugliest thing. And then the second person in the conversation is like, wait, Jeep makes a truck? And they're like, yeah, haven't you seen it?
Well, there's no
and then one
advertising
drives
push on these.
by, and they're like, oh, because there's one that drives around the Chipotle in St. Louis Park all the time, and it's so awful. I see it all the time, and I'm like, why?
I think what upsets me the most about this is the fact that they could have done this well, and they chose not to.
Yeah, and it's too long, too. Like, you see one of these, it's like, ooh, that's a JKU or a JLU, but they added like 3 feet of bed onto this thing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's not very good at off-roading either. It's not comfortable. It's not good
Right.
at really anything.
And no manual, as you mentioned.
yeah,
and
and
no
it could have
manual.
been. It could have easily been a 2-door with a bed, like every other truck on the market, other than the Ridgeline.
Yeah, they had to
like-
make it a 4-door, which is ugh.
Well, it's
But-
because everyone buys pickup trucks to have a sedan, because they want a sedan, but they buy a pickup.
because
like
I want to
that
sedan.
just doesn't make sense because like
Yeah, no, we
Jeeps
understand
aren't
that. Yeah, I
traditionally
know.
4 doors anyway. So like
Although now, the
Yeah.
only ones that sell are 4-door
Yeah.
because people buy the wrong vehicle to do commute duty in, aka trucks.
yeah.
Well,
I
I'm
still
happy to
have-
see that a truck is failing.
But I'd rather see these on the road than F-150s.
Yes,
So
but
it's
I'm
like,
still. Anytime I see a pickup truck fail,
That's
I'm
nuts.
happy about that.
especially in the United
Sorry,
States.
let me amend this statement. Anytime I see a full-size pickup truck fail, I'm happy to see that.
Yeah.
I'm
Like-
happy to see this
okay,
fail.
so
I'm
we-
happy the Mercedes X-Class was an absolute
Oh
failure.
yeah.
Like
Oh.
every time a full-size pickup fails, I'm thrilled.
So we were listening to NPR the other day, and they were talking about how car sales have gone up because during the pandemic, people have been purchasing houses outside of cities, and along with purchasing houses outside of cities, you need a car. And there was this person that moved from California to like
Colorado.
and they had previously had a Prius, and one of my sisters that lives
Perennial Prius buyer is what they
Yeah.
said. They've had every generation of Prius.
Oh, for
And
sake.
4 generations.
No, it's
of
5
Prius.
now.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're getting to.
But, so like my sister bought the first gen Prius, right? And she lives in Iowa. Super snowy. She's commuted from Iowa to Minnesota in the winter, and it's done better than almost any of my other sister's vehicles commuting to Minnesota in the
That's
snow.
not a high bar.
I low-key want a first-gen Prius. The sedan.
Yeah,
But,
but
like,
just get an Echo.
Or Insight, because it comes with a manual.
Anywho,
There you go.
either way, like the Prius does great in the snow.
Anything with tires
Yeah,
suited for snow use
suited
does
for-
great in the snow.
And like they moved to Colorado and they're like, yeah, we didn't expect snow, and so instead of a Prius, I'm like looking into a truck, and I'm like, why would you go from a Prius to a truck? Like I was like, literally, the Prius is better for Colorado than a freaking truck because of the mountains. Like I'm like, get tires.
So,
Just get
People
tires.
do not understand because like the brain is in society we're used to things being able to make like a 5% change
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
something of your perception, and like winter tires are just one of those things where it doesn't logically make sense. You
Yeah.
can't really describe how they change,
Yeah.
how you drive. But every person I've put into a set of winter tires
Mm-hmm.
has come back and be like, I don't understand, but you were right.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know. That's why I offered to buy your tires if I was wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is the thing.
And I don't understand, like, I think people that, like, I know there's people that have lived in snowy states that don't understand snow tires, but what I don't understand is people moving from states like California into the snowier states and not thinking about snow tires. Because I'm like, you're used to other tires. I think you would see snow tires and go, I'm moving to a snowier place.
I think that, yeah, those people are going to inevitably do some research. Whereas if you grew up here and you never had
Yeah.
winter tires, you're just, yeah, all seasons are fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've had all seasons and winter tires, and winter tires are much better. Yeah.
But, like, I drive my Sienna with all seasons and it's not perfect.
No,
but it
you
does
can
the
can
job.
get by. It turns winter tires turn driving from an annoying chore to a fun
Exactly.
Yeah,
experience.
it turns driving in January into driving in July.
Like,
It's
I
seriously-
definitely-
Yeah, it's literally that big of a difference.
It makes driving enjoyable in the winter.
So,
yeah.
there's two things I want to bring up here. First off, I'm actually gonna say this is 100% the fault of the sales ability of dealerships versus the sales ability of tire installation shops,
Okay.
of service advisors. So, service advisors, every single service advisor in the world is entirely at fault when compared to a car salesman, because buying a car is way more expensive. You have to deal with the greasiest slime ball in the world. You have to just have a generally unpleasant experience.
Yeah, you never feel great leaving a dealership.
Yeah.
with a
Whereas
car.
like you get your tires, you're in and out in an hour, and you deal with somebody that's usually a pretty nice person.
and they know what they're talking about.
And
too,
that's the thing
which
is,
huge.
if you are a service advisor and you're not able to sell snow tires instead of purchasing a whole new freaking car, that's entirely on your ability to do sales.
Yeah.
Because I know that because having been a service advisor, I was able to make that sale. And I kind of said the same thing you did. I said, if this does not improve your winter driving, let me know and I will personally buy them from you. Like, if they were a tire size that I would feasibly use,
Yeah.
yeah, I would make that sales pitch. I would even say, you know what? if you end up not liking these, let me know. We'll throw your all seasons back on, and I'll sell these used to somebody else that wants them. Because
Yeah.
I'm that confident I will be able to sell them. I've never had anybody ever take me up on that.
I know,
Right.
and everyone that comes to me being like, "Oh yeah, I want a like bigger, better car," and I'm like, "Bigger, better doesn't exist." Like,
Yeah,
I'm
that,
like, it's all in the tires, and it's all in finding a car that suits your daily commute, not the one really bad snow in the winter. Because like everyone I know that buys a car for that one really bad snowstorm
Hates their life the rest of the
hates
year.
their car
Yeah.
the rest of the year, and then it doesn't perform as well as they expected in that one snow.
Going back to the sales pitch of this,
Mhm.
I've also been able to sell snow tires to a person from North Minneapolis that had a Touareg for their daily driver. So, bad neighborhood, super shit car.
Yeah.
And then, so you know this person obviously has no money.
Yeah. No, I was putting two and two together on that
Yes.
one.
Well, for
Like,
people that don't understand the
at least
geography
no-
of Minnesota.
no
Like,
discretionary
absolutely
money.
no discretionary income. I was able to make the sales pitch, and
Mortgage,
I said,
Touareg,
Yeah.
same thing.
and I said to them, I said, these tires are expensive. You're right. They cost about as much as buying an Xbox would cost at that point in time. And my follow up was, when you understeer into a curb and you screw up your suspension, that's going to be way more expensive, and that's going to screw up your entire life.
Yeah.
If you buy these snow tires, you're going to be able to drive, and you're going to be able to drive reliably and comfortably, because they also needed new tires, because their front tires were like almost bald and the rears were almost brand new. It's an all-wheel drive vehicle, so I'm just like, get the snow tires, because you need tires anyway. I know that they're almost as expensive, and you have to come back in March and get more tires. But when you come back in March, I'll sell you some super duper cheap, horrible all seasons,
Yeah,
and
'cause it
it's
just
not
doesn't
going to
matter
matter
as much, yeah.
because you're going to drive fine in rain in those. And the super crappy all seasons
Yeah.
only perform poorly in winter.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they were thrilled. They still come to the shop. They do their oil changes with us, and they were absolutely just bananas excited because I was being real with them. So, sales pitch for service advisors, instead of trying to sell them whatever the cheapest fix is, sell them what will give them the most benefit,
Like legitimately,
and they will come back.
If you don't have a loan on your car, you can legitimately suggest take collision off your car, buy
Yeah.
these tires.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, that is entirely
In 6 months, there's
Put
a
it back
good
on.
chance that we'll have paid for your wheels and tires, and
Yeah.
those are going to last for years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think that's another thing that, like, why I quit working at the shop I worked at briefly before I bought my house. Like, just I would sell the way I would sell in the
This was
the
honest
shop.
one.
Yeah, well, I was trying not to
Oh.
name
Yeah,
names, but
no, they're. I know what you're gonna say
Yeah.
before you say it, and I've run into that too, where people are frustrated that you're not pushing the way they want you to.
yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm
Like-
selling fine. I'm making as many sales as I want, and
Right.
I'm making as much money as you are making with your dozens of sales that are
And the
not
people
nearly
are-
as good as mine, and my people are much happier.
And they're coming back.
Yes. Well, I don't know if they came back because I
Well,
did not operate there long enough.
We'll say conclusively
yes,
that they are.
They are coming back because when I worked at Good Karma, they were coming back because we were honest with it and they actually got something for their money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and we just ran into this with our friend who bought a Subaru in 2014,
yeah,
and she has this. She's been bringing it back to the dealership that she bought it from consistently, and I recently got a text from her being like, "Hey, can I have some advice?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." And she's like, "They want to charge this much because it's like just a
$4,000.
yeah, for something in the engine
They have
that's
to
like
pull the engine out to reseal
Oh,
something.
well,
yeah, just
that makes
but
some
it's like
sense, but that's
they
a
weren't
chunk.
yeah, they weren't being clear with her on like how necessary this repair was.
Or like
So she
why
didn't-
it happened.
She didn't know if she could continue driving it until she got the repair or anything.
Great.
And so like fortunately she's working from home, but like, you know, she's like, it's sitting in the garage, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I asked for a trade-in value, and the trade-in they offered her was less
It was
than
$1,500 for a 2016 Impreza.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, be straight with people. People are not dumb.
And
That-
so I told her, I was like, I'm waiting for Ryan to get off work, but I'm going to tell you what I think he's going to say, and I think you should go to Good Karma. And because, like, even from someone who doesn't know dealerships or, you know, mechanic stuff that well, that does not sound correct.
Or Van Gogh even. I mean, they
Yeah.
deal a lot with Volkswagen too. But.
Yeah, and
Well,
well,
but
Or
it's
not
Subaru.
Volkswagen.
we were
Subaru,
talking
Subaru.
about Good Car because I could get her in contact directly with
Yep.
Keith.
Yeah,
I could
so I
text
was
him.
like-
It could be
Yep.
done.
I was like, hey, you
problem
know,
solved.
we still know people there,
Mhm.
and like I was like, I bring my Sienna there, and they always tell me what, like if I ask for the bare minimum,
Mhm.
they tell me the bare minimum, and then they tell me where they're comfortable
Yep.
sending me, and like, you know, I was like, they'll tell you the truth, like they just will, and I know it's a little, because she lives in St. Paul too, so I'm
Shops like
it's-
that, yeah, they pretty much don't exist. And
Yeah.
I've sent a ton of people to Good Karma too, just because
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
well, who do you
just-
recommend for like the menial daily driver garbage?
And-
Like, well,
Yeah, a good shop that's trustworthy. And actually, it turns out what it was is she did have a leak on her timing cover,
Mhm.
and it was like slight seepage.
Yeah,
oh, so
so it,
It
wasn't
is less than
$4,000.
less than a quart per oil change that was leaking. She absolutely did
I mean,
not
that's
need to change it.
significant for a new vehicle, but yeah, that's not stop driving your car. Let's just
Also-
deal with some oil.
The car is past warranty as well. Like that's like say it's newer, but it's got like a ton of miles on it.
Oh, okay. Well,
So-
and it's an FA, FB?
FB. So it's a super
So
or, sorry,
shocking.
FA. That's a super problematic one.
Oh, weird. The front timing. I feel
know,
like
right?
there's something about that
Yeah,
part
it's
on
like-
that engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what like we were able to tell her like, hey, this is super common, but I was
Throw
like,
some
don't-
Liqui-Moly 2020 in it. Oh, those engines shipped with 0 to B20 or 0 to B16.
Yeah.
Just put a proper oil in it, and it'll probably stem a lot.
And
Yeah.
you know what?
It was the dealership taking
Good
care
Karma
of her car.
does do that. 'Cause
Good. Even a
it
0
is-
to B30 is like
Yeah, we-
immensely
I think we
better.
usually put in like 540 into Subarus because like
I would.
usually they leak,
Sure.
they can handle it. You're not gonna see a difference unless you were driving solely on the highway. This is the
But-
only time you'll ever notice a difference is if you were
It's-
driving at highway speeds in winter with a cold engine. It's
Yeah,
the
it's
only time
just-
you're ever gonna notice it.
Someday, if I ever have the means to do this, I want to find two people that I know that put a ton of miles on, get two identical, brand new, unreliable cars,
Yeah.
service one by the book, service one how I want to service it, and I want to genuinely see over the course of 100,000 miles, or even 200,000.
I'm sure we know two people that have recently purchased a 2.0T Volkswagen Audi product.
But
Like,
they
we-
don't drive it enough, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I guess we need to find two people that have a Volkswagen Tiguan 2.0T
Mm-hmm.
with under 40,000 miles.
Sure. And then do a complete service to both of them.
Yes, do a complete service to both of them. Do the 40K service, and then watch them both drive the car. And then at 100,000 miles, one of them does your maintenance and one does the dealer maintenance, and see which one has had more problems over the course of 60,000 miles.
Yeah, I think it would be so fascinating. And I think if you could find like traveling salespeople and you're offering them the car as long as they pay for fuel and insurance,
Yeah.
they'd probably do it.
Yeah.
But I swear, like you could take a 2.0 TSI and you could make it not fail.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, I would absolutely believe that.
And that is saying something.
Yes, if you, I think in a 2.0 TSI, do your oil changes at 5,000 miles. You do your transmission services at half the
40K.
miles. Yeah, well, I'd say 30 even.
Oh, on a DSG, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you do because they're
Those are torque converter, aren't they?
DSG.
Really?
They're all DSGs.
Oh. Ooh.
If you yeah, it's bad.
Ooh.
If you do a BG fuel injection, the flush thing instead of the intake manifold off and have to scrape everything off, if you do the BG flush every 40,000 miles, I think you could probably make one go over 100,000 without any $1,000 fixes.
I would be so fascinated to try. But the issue really is getting to like vehicles that
Yeah.
aren't new necessarily, but finding the people that put 30, 40,000 miles a year on their car and then getting them to commit to
People
using
like
it
my
for 3
dad,
years.
But unfortunately, he's retiring, so he won't be driving as much.
Traveling salespeople, again, you could find
Yeah,
people to
traveling
participate.
salespeople, realtors,
Couriers.
couriers. Yeah.
Couriers would be good.
Couriers would be cake. Yeah.
Taxi, Uber.
Uber drivers. Yeah.
Although those engines run 24 hours a day, that helps. Anyway, that's a huge digression, I guess.
All right. So anyway, so this is a vehicle that was slated to sell very well and has sold poorly.
Yep.
The Jeep Gladiator. However, I want to talk about a car that's been slated to sell poorly. The GR Yaris.
Oh, what a great car. If they brought
Sounds
those here,
amazing.
I told this to Scott a couple weeks ago, unprompted. I'd finance one if they
Yeah,
came here.
I would absolutely do it. I would subprime
think
finance it.
almost
That's how
everyone
much I
would.
love that car. I will pay a 20% interest rate on a $30,000
Put it on.
car.
Yeah.
I will ruin my
Because
credit
you know
over
what?
this car.
You could pay that interest, put as many miles as you want on it, and by the end of that term, it will be worth the same or more.
Also, I think more than that, at the end of that term, I will love the car
You will never sell it. Yeah.
as much as the day I bought it. That's more of my issue with financing cars, because like when I finance a car, I'm like, I'm gonna want to sell it at some point. But like, or if it's a car I love, like I have no intention of selling this. This is mine forever. Like my Civic, like I'm okay dumping way more into it than I'm ever gonna get out of it because I love it.
Because you formed an attachment to the car.
Yes. So yes, the Yaris GR has sold 300,000 copies
They're not
Copies?
making that
in
many.
Gran Turismo.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say they're not making anywhere near that many.
Now this
And then you
is.
said copies too, so I was like, what?
I want
Ryan, though.
I want to note this because Gran Turismo is not like a game where you have like 40 cars in it. There are, I think, like 1,000 in the
Probably
game
around
at this
1,000,
point because there's
yeah.
1,000 in GT5.
4.
Yeah, and 4 and 5.
Well, 4 was tricky because they had a bunch of old models that were imported.
No, GT4. No, GT4 is the one where they did all of the big ones, where they had like 800, and they made 200 new ones for GT5 because GT4 was PS2, GT5 was PS3.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
you're thinking of GT5.
I'm thinking of,
yeah, you
yeah.
are.
Am I? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because they ported PlayStation 2 models of the
Yeah.
cars nobody
Onto
cared
the-
about.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, they have like literally thousands of cars in this game, and you could get any car in the world. Like, what are your 5 favorite cars?
Ferrari F355,
Which is in the game?
E30 M3.
Yes. I broke Eric. I don't.
Fiat 500.
Yep.
Throw that out there. BMW M1.
Yes.
I need one more. Oh God. I haven't driven a GR Yaris.
But I'm like at 8 series it wouldn't be. But
no,
like
no.
4 of your 5 favorite cars ever. For me, R32 Skyline in the game, found out about it because of the game. AE86, again, in the game, found out about it because of the game. Daihatsu Miura TRXX, in the game, found out about it because of the game. I'm just going to throw out a couple of cars just to break this up that I did not find out because of the game.
Okay.
The CB Accord, they do not have it, but they have the CA Accord.
Which is what the hell?
I know, right?
No CB, but CA.
I know,
Perfect
beyond
sense.
weird.
Just the fact that any Accord's in there at all.
Lamborghini Countach,
Oh, okay. Yep.
which actually I think is in the later games, but was not in GT4.
Well, it's mainly for licensing issues, though, and Gran Turismo has always done really well with licensing.
Yeah, so,
Post roof.
but again, 80% to 90% of your favorite cars are in this game of all time.
They have a huge catalog.
So you could really spend your hard-earned money in game. And this game's also not like Forza where it just gives you money. You have to earn your money in the game. So people, 300,000 Yaris GRs selling in the game is quite the feat.
And let's say this is not a new game either.
No, and it's very difficult to get $300,000 or 300,000 cars to sell, especially when it's like a modern hatchback that people don't have a tangible attachment. Like, I can understand 300,000 A86s. That makes sense.
Right.
But like, this is also a car. It's come out. It's not been part of like the automotive lexicon for the last 25 years.
No, only
No.
journalists have driven it. They're only available in certain markets.
Yeah. So this is a very rare car. I think I cannot think of a place where I could find 300,000 people in any single market that know that this car exists.
Right.
Yet 300 have sold in the game. So this is a exact proof in concept that I think that the GR Yaris is interesting to people, and people want that car
I want it.
because it's more. They're interested enough to buy it, obviously more than.
I guarantee, like you said, like this is an emotional car. Like
Yeah.
you get into that thing and you are gonna adore it.
Yeah, this is one of those cars where, talking about Halo cars and cars that really represent what the brand is and the best that the brand can do. I would consider this more of a Halo car for Toyota than the Supra right now.
Yeah.
Because while the Supra is a BMW.
You go to a a racetrack during any major race, and you look at what the drivers are driving to the
Yes,
track, they're not
exactly.
going to be in a Mark V Supra. They're going to be in a Yaris GR.
There'd be Yaris GRs, Abarths, things like that.
Yeah,
That's what
because they want a tiny, fun little. I'm gonna call it underpowered, even though this is really not.
No, that's 257 horsepower. It's
Yeah,
insane.
but you want something
With a
tiny, connected manual. Like you're gonna
A driver's car.
Yes,
That's what this is.
you're not seeing AMGs.
Yeah,
Science.
and so this is like what Toyota should offer to the world because this is what people obviously want. Is this going to sell as many units as the RAV4? No, it never will.
No, and it
not
shouldn't.
every car is a RAV4.
No, keep
But-
selling care in the trash. I don't care, but like the fact that this exists, and again, like I've said, and I would stand by it. If this came to this country, I would buy one.
I would absolutely buy one. If I could legally get one, gray market, I would do that.
Gray market's really expensive.
But that's the thing. I would be willing to pay $20,000 in extra crap to get this if I could get that financed. I would absolutely do that.
I see where you're coming from, but
But
I'm not quite
that's
there.
that's the thing. Is like I'm willing to go to great lengths to get this car if I could legally daily drive this.
Would you say that about any other production vehicle right now? Except for maybe a Jimny.
I'm just saying.
I don't even think I would say that about the Jimny.
It's only because we're getting the UAs.
I'm actually going through my brain thinking of every car.
Because there's a lot of
currently-
really good stuff out there that we just don't get, or
Yeah.
configurations that we don't get. But yeah, is there? I'm like,
I think the only because that's not made. As I say, 2-cylinder Fiat 500 maybe.
oh, a twin air would be rad.
But
they
that's
don't-
not
I don't
made
think
right
they make
now.
them. No,
No.
mm-mm. The new one's electric.
I
Which
think
an
this is
awesome
the
car.
only car I would currently say that about.
And this isn't electric.
Twingo GT.
Okay.
That's the only other car. Was
Great car.
The 100 horsepower rear-wheel drive Twingo.
That is really cool.
Yep. So that's the only other this and a Twingo GT, that is the weirdest car I could think of.
And I
But
do have to say, like,
also, it's a lot of thinking I
we
did do
don't
to get there.
have any cars like this in the United States. Like, my sister, she used to exclusively drive EF Civic hatches because she liked manual small hatches because she lives in California. But, like, they were impossible to find when she moved back to California from Illinois. And so she couldn't find another one, so she bought a Yaris, and she's only bought Yaris's since, and she moved up to Washington and then moved back to Carmel, and she did that all in a Yaris. My dad, who owns trucks, was like, the Yaris did better than my truck would have. And so it's like, Yarises are already good cars.
Yeah, it's just that.
Like, it
This
would
one
be
has been
so nice,
depracticalized a little bit, but still
but
pretty
it'd
good.
Still be like
Yeah.
good enough.
Still a hatch.
I would still be able to daily drive this
Yeah.
without fail.
I would buy winter tires for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And like
that is so
I have no intention of buying another non-electric daily driver probably the rest of my life. But
Except for this.
I want
It has to
that.
be a very special car, and
Yeah.
that's why I chose the Fiat 500 Turbo when I was getting my car. Because at this point, it
You
is.
wanted this,
I
but
am.
couldn't
I
get
am
it.
now at a point in the world where it's a bigger pain in the ass to own a gas car or invest in a gas car than it is to invest in an EV.
Yeah, you're buying an antiquated legacy technology, but this car isn't a consumable appliance. Like this car
You know what
is
the-
a
you know what this
collectible,
is?
even though it's brand new.
This car is like buying a fully spec'd out Commodore 64 in like 1989. Like
Yeah, you're buying the last year of
The
an
last-
old tech,
the-
knowing
the-
that a new one's
yeah,
out.
like you know that there's better technology on the horizon. You know that Windows is around, and it's like obviously better than Commodore's OS. But the Commodore 64 is still like at that point in time was the best over-the-counter gaming computer you could get.
And there's always some overlap.
And this is the thing. It's like right now, this is the most fun over-the-counter, like fuel-injected petrol car you can get right now.
And let's be honest, it's 2 years before like it really is a no-brainer to buy an electric vehicle
Yeah.
for daily
Yeah,
usage.
and
and
just-
like this is the best time probably ever to buy a manual daily driver.
Yeah, this
Just
is,
like-
do it now,
And
just-
or you won't.
You could use this year-round. Winter tires, not even worry about it for 2 years, and then throw it in your garage and just enjoy it on weekends because this won't deteriorate even
No.
in 2 winters.
No, this would be a great car.
Really, so like one of my favorite things about working in early education is I get to see families purchase cars, and like a lot of times they don't make good decisions.
Oh, of
but
course
it's,
not.
A lot
it's
of
fine
Tiguan's,
because I
a lot
don't.
of Q5s.
Yeah, it's fine because like I don't have to drive in them, so it's just fun seeing them make
Sure.
these purchases and like seeing their thought process behind it. And so a lot of the, because during the pandemic, a lot of people got busy, and they're all expecting
I
more
have
children
seen
on the way.
a ton. I mean, we all
Yeah.
knew it was gonna
Yeah.
happen, but the amount of pregnancy posts and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
so
was
like almost
and
every
engagements.
mother at my school right now is pregnant. Like it's literally probably 90%.
what are we gonna call the old boomers now that we have new boomers?
I don't know. They're probably going to be called
Out
like,
to pasture.
Millennials are now
pandemic
boomers.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call the original boomers out to pasture.
Out to
But
pasture.
yeah, so like I've been seeing some interesting purchases. Like a lot of them buy bigger vehicles, not necessarily better
Hate
vehicles.
people.
And like there is this one family that they only have one kid, and they're kind of at the age where they're probably not gonna have more kids. And the mom was like, the dad has a Civic, and she had like an Audi sedan, and she upgraded to an Audi like crossover SUV.
Downgraded.
Downgraded.
Thank you.
Quote unquote upgraded to her. She's like, it was time to upgrade, and I was like,
No, it
you
wasn't.
didn't though.
It
And I
wasn't
was
an
like,
upgrade.
you had an iffy car to start with, and so it's just like that doesn't make sense. Like you have one kid, why did you need a bigger vehicle? And then in the same week, I saw a family that is expecting another baby, and the mom had a Prius, and the dad has some Japanese like SUV, and the dad is now driving a Tesla Model 3.
Cool.
And the
Good
mom
decision.
has his old SUV.
Perfect.
And I'm like, that's great.
That is an upgrade.
That is a better.
That is
yeah.
how
I was
you
like-
upgrade. The other one downgraded. They upgraded.
Yeah. So I was like, so I get to see all these different decisions, and I'm like, that is the
I
best
am
thing to do right
Far
now.
too judgmental.
So, do you do this whenever you see somebody that has a front-wheel drive version of a crossover? They're having trouble getting it out of a stoplight when it's snowy out. Do you just lay on your horn behind them, just to be an asshole?
I don't actually experience this.
I've done that several times.
I
I
would.
could easily go around them, and I choose not to. Because I get a lot of people where I live where they have like front-wheel drive Renegades.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so,
Unless they're a manual renegade, in which case I'm okay with.
and so yeah, if they're sitting
But you
there,
wouldn't be stuck if you had a
yeah,
manual.
if you had a
No,
manual,
God,
you
no.
wouldn't be stuck. You just put it
Because
in
you'd have proper tires because you care about driving.
Or even then, you just put it in second. You coast away slowly, like, and then you get out of the snow. You're fine. You're not spinning your tires.
pop it in second and bang the limiter.
But anyway, so yeah, I just get behind people and just land the horn. If I see that they have a, if I am driving behind you and I see you have a crossover and I see a hole for where differential should be and there's nothing there,
I'm looking at you, Mazda Tribute.
Mazda Tributes and Ford Escapes. You are getting
CRV.
You are getting the wrath of my horn if I have to deal with your ass, and I'm gonna go out of my way to make you feel bad about your purchase.
But yeah, so it's just interesting seeing other people's purchases and like being like, yes, that was a good decision, and like I can't necessarily tell them that it's a good decision or a bad decision, but it's
I
like,
would.
it's fun, and then you also get to like talk to the kids about it, and the kids have their own opinions, which is hilarious. Like,
Actually, usually they have decent opinions.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
kids probably have a better opinion about it than the
for
parents
sure. And then like my favorite was someone that has sold his BMW E30 and got a Land Rover as a fun car. He was daily driving a Kia Soul, his wife's old Kia Soul,
Those are
and now
fun.
he's got like a Tacoma pickup, and I'm like, all
Is it a
right, that's
manual
an,
Tacoma?
I don't know. I don't see him enough to ask,
I'm
but I
gonna
just
assume
like
it is.
saw it and I was like, that's hilarious. Like this is a hilarious.
Don't
car
feel
decision.
too bad. It was a 318. Just
Well,
so you know.
that's fine.
It's not that bad. It was an E30. It was objectively a good car, but it wasn't like it wasn't a good
No,
E30.
it was like-
it was
That's like
a
somebody who had
325.
an IX and then traded it in on
Yeah.
something. I'm like, good.
But it was just like,
Part it
it's
out.
just funny seeing everyone.
Take it out of its misery. It's like had the ability to be good and it just
Or-
wasn't.
I have taken apart a lot of very nice IXs.
Take it out of its misery.
And then like somebody who is summer dailying like
triggers
an
them.
an old Saab, like his daughter's like, yeah, the white car went away for winter. It's too cold for
One
it
second.
now.
She has one of her parents has a Saab 900 SPG.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very
And
cool.
That
car.
is actually
Daily
really cool.
drove it. Daily drove it all summer.
God,
until,
that's a rare
until
bird
it
now.
snowed.
I saw it, so she's like, "Yeah, it's an old Saab," and it's like I went.
I
They had a
could-
petting zoo day, and I'm like, "I want to go to the petting zoo. It's right next to my house. Of course, I'm gonna go." Like, it's a freaking petting
no,
zoo.
this
I
is-
love petting zoos, and I actually saw it. I'm like, "That's an SPG, honey."
Because like I don't get to see it enough
That's just
to
a
like
Saab.
like I only get to see it for like 2 minutes at most, and I'm chasing children while looking at it, so I don't get to like actually see it.
I was officially there as a volunteer to help them with the petting zoo.
I can imagine just like the terror and then like the pleasantness of the parent as you come up like that's PG. They're like, oh yeah.
No, I was
Well, it's
I was
funny-
I was distracted by a goat when I was talking to him.
It was funny when
I got to pet the goat. I was really
Like-
excited. I like goats.
Holy shit.
I got to talk to him, but he was like talking to my director too, who knew nothing about cars, and he's like, "Yeah, it's just an old Saab," and I was like, "No, like I know, like."
But it
let's
isn't,
talk
though.
more
That's, like,
about it,
pre-Vigan.
please." Like,
Yeah, it's like a cool, like a good Saab,
I'm
like
like,
a very good Saab.
where'd you
Didn't
get
have enough
it?
power to
Like,
blow the transmission up yet.
Yeah, it was. And like I love that he picks up his daughter with it too.
That
Like
is really
I know
cool.
so many people that don't bring their.
The
nice
daughter's gonna have a
cars.
much better opinion of cars than somebody arriving in a Tiguan.
Oh yeah,
I'll tell you
and
that.
her mom
They have a
drives,
better
like,
opinion of life.
Yeah.
Everybody who know it with
That-
a Tiguan
That
is
little
like,
girl far less likely to do drugs than somebody
everybody
in the
know
back
that
of a Tiguan.
everybody know that Tiguan is just like just the worst. They're always like just sad.
They're photocopied people that lost the contrast of life.
Like they're just sad people. Like they're like, I liked my GTI, so I bought the truck version of it, and
Yeah,
it's
and she
bad.
loves
And then
it,
they're just
too.
depressed.
She just loves the car. Like it's her favorite thing. So I think that's why she.
Turbo
he picks
leg
it.
will put a smile on your face.
That's honestly, there is a reason when I get on the highway, I do not downshift. I keep it in third.
It's so much fun to feel
I
the
much-
boost come on. I
would
love
mu-
it.
I would much rather be in third gear going from Normandale to 494 when I could have put it in second. Actually been faster. No!
Yeah, if you
Give
want-
me the turbo lag. It's so fun.
If you want good suggestions on what cars you should buy, ask like toddlers and preschoolers because they know exactly what you should get.
Actually, it's a very good point.
Yep.
Like if you put a toddler in 3 different cars, they will probably
They will pick a Yaris GR.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the thing is the toddler wants something that's comfy. They don't want to be in an actual race car as much as I think they do. They actually
No,
don't.
they terrify them.
Yeah, it's terrifying, but
They want
they
it to make
also don't want to be
noises.
bored. So if you give them 3 cars, they're gonna find the right one. Anyway, so
Yeah, bring your kids to pick out cars. Like they're gonna pick out the best cars. Like
It's-
honestly, and
At
then
least
they
they'll
feel,
offer a good opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll feel like, and then they feel like they're involved in the process, and they're a lot happier about it in the long run.
a lot of the cars that they don't like usually end up dying off.
Yeah.
That's an excellent segue.
Oh,
My next
is it?
topic is cars that died in 2020.
I
Oh,
like
I
that-
read this.
Most
Why-
of them we don't care about, but a few we do.
Why isn't the dumpster on fire?
These must be fire. They're asbestos cars.
Okay.
Yep.
There's a
The
few-
cars are made out of
A
asbestos.
few of them are okay.
So anyway, let's just start
It's a
rolling down the
slideshow.
list.
It's a slideshow.
First one, Alfa Romeo 4C.
Okay.
I kind of care about this car, but it
It's
never
automatic.
came here with a manual.
I don't care.
So, good riddance.
Yes.
Dodge
good.
Journey.
Oh,
What's
thank
gonna
God.
happen to
Finally.
the Porsche now? When
Yeah, let's make a prediction. Where are all the special financing people going next year, 2021?
Jeep Renegade.
Yep.
I think they're going to a Cherokee.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the front-wheel drive Cherokee. Yeah.
Front-wheel drive Cherokee.
Yep, you're right.
Base model Cherokee.
Yeah. Another car that gets the wrath of my horn.
Awful car.
If
In fact,
you have a-
we've publicly said how much we loathe. There's
The-
something like especially fucked
I
about
I found out that they had the 2.4 like the 2.4 all-wheel drive one. Like, I remember we had a whole episode where I was just going
But
off
the
about it.
base one, there was something about it that was just like we couldn't believe how shit it was for a modern vehicle.
It's really
too.
bad. I can't remember, but yeah,
I want to say it still had a 4-speed auto or something.
it's something like that.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, the Journey, it's been around for 12 years. Screw it. Caravan, I thought these were already dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so they actually kept the Dodge Caravan on as a fleet option.
Okay.
Yes.
So it wasn't just the commercial vehicle, but you
Yeah,
could
it was
actually
a
buy it
CV.
as like a taxi.
Yeah, it's the CV.
Could you get ones with glass in them still
Yes,
or no?
the
Okay.
CV you can get
Okay.
with glass. Yep.
The XE.
I forgot that this existed.
I have seen one of those on the road.
I've not seen any modern Jags. I've seen Apaches, and that's it.
Yeah, no, I actually do see Apaches, F-Paches. I saw one XF Sport Brake. Boy, that thing was lovely.
I did 2 once.
Those were
I was
sold
very,
here.
I was very excited when I saw that.
You could get an XF wagon in this country, and nobody did.
I didn't know that. Otherwise, I would have given that car the year.
I didn't either until I saw one, and I messaged Scott. I'm like, I think I just saw a Jaguar wagon. I was like, oh yeah, they sold the XF Sport Brake here.
Hey,
I'm like,
scroll down a sec. Hey, say it.
Okay, this
I
one's
read
a
through
little
this
more
last night.
fun.
Ow.
It's on Mac only, just so you know.
I know.
But
it's beautiful.
This is an example that nobody knew they existed. Because you know what? I had so many people when I was working at Kid Karma, because I straight up did not know this existed.
Yeah.
They were like, what should I buy? I'm like, probably an E-Class wagon.
Well, that's a better decision.
Like, but that's the thing, is it's a little bit more expensive. But, like, this is, like, actually, this price point is a good car.
oh, it's so pretty.
Sad.
It's a gorgeous
I'm
vehicle.
actually
I'm sad about
that
that
one.
still,
That,
even though it's
that one
auto
makes
only.
me sad.
So they should bring it back as an electric.
So
and
does the
then we
next
can
one,
enjoy it.
actually. This
Oh
one,
no, the Sonic!
This one actually makes me
It's a
sad.
Daewoo, isn't it?
No, that is the Spark.
Oh, okay.
But the Sonic had the 1.4 turbo, which, like, I don't know what ZCP performance is going to do now that GM doesn't make anything good. But this is like one of the last like cool cars that GM actually made.
If you grew up in a rural area in USA, and of course your family won't let you buy anything that isn't domestic, this car was a light at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah,
at
this was-
least letting you have a taste of fun.
This is if you got a Sonic turbo, which they had the Sonic RS turbo,
Yep.
but you could also just get a Sonic with a 1.4 turbo,
Yep.
which made the exact same power as a Sonic 1.4 non-turbo. You could actually get about 60 extra horsepower out of it with the ZZP performance tuning package, which is just like some bolt-ons and a reflash. And like 60 horsepower really woke those cars up. And like to date, when I see them, like,
They
you
come
know,
in fun
for like stoplight
colors.
drags and stuff, I
Mm-hmm.
don't always try to run them because there's like I've seen enough quick Sonics to like question it.
The
Like,
engine's pretty good. It's got the same issues it did in the Cruise, where you really need to watch out for Dex Cool. But beyond that, they're
They also
pretty
they
good.
kind of they pretty much all explode at 100,000 miles. But that's the thing; it's the first car. It's not going to make it to 100,000 miles.
No, doesn't matter. Plus, you can still get engines for them, so whatever. Next one, Chevy
Yay!
Impala.
Okay,
Okay,
there we
Hertz
go.
rental car will be sad.
This actually, you know, who else would be sad is like I've only people I ever see driving those are like old black ladies.
I saw one of those being pushed up the street by 4 people the other day. It was
Oh,
pretty
Yes,
good.
you did show me that.
Yep.
But I only see like that. And I see like basically it's old people I see because like Edina I see a lot of them.
It's I rent cars often, and I want a non-completely based sedan.
No,
rental
you what
car.
it is? Why can't I get a Buick Park Avenue?
Oh,
Don't worry,
yeah.
you still can.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
Tucker
Oh.
is a Tucker car.
But not to be confused with a Tucker car.
No.
Civic Coupe. Did not know they even made this.
Yes, they
Yeah,
do
'cause,
make
like,
them.
They've gotten too big to only have one door.
So, all right,
That's the real reason.
this is the thing. So the Civic Coupe, they make the Civic Coupe, which is almost indiscernible with the Civic Hatch. I honestly cannot tell you one from another when I drive past them. But I think I see a lot of these, and I think the reason they're discontinuing this is that Honda forgot how to keep track of them
Oh.
because they're so dissimilar. They
Oh,
just see
okay,
them
sure.
sell, and they're like, I think this
But
is.
the hatch is still
Honda
being
can't
sold.
tell the difference.
So this is
Nobody
is-
can tell the difference.
It's like the Ultima Coupe. Just kill it. Nobody cares.
It doesn't make sense
No.
to keep it.
The
like,
hatch
I
is
don't blame
better.
them. Like, it's a very cool car. I'm happy that they made it, but
Great
like,
engine, really good gearbox.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, I love coupes, but
Sedan's better, hatch is better. Bye bye.
yeah, it
Bye.
doesn't make sense.
Bye bye. Elantra GT. This is kind of sad because this is
Yeah.
one of the very few remaining 6-speed manual cars.
Yeah, I'm really bummed about this because this is
And it's
actually
a
a good car.
hatch.
Well, actually, no, because they're doing the inline.
They are, but like this
But they're
was.
killing this for the inline.
Well, which is fine though, because that's a manual only, and the
Yes.
N line, I think. Well,
Yes.
maybe they're offering a dual clutch.
No,
it doesn't matter.
It's manual only.
Good.
If I'm not mistaken.
So like this was like a sleeper. Like if you want a fun hatch and you don't want to say I have a fun hatch. that's what
also,
you buy.
talking about cars I didn't know it still existed. I saw an Elantra touring. And I kind of wish I could get a 5-door Elantra, and I apparently still could.
You probably still can. Probably some on the, but you'd have to special order a manual. So, Fit.
Yeah, Honda
very-
fucked
very-
this one up royally.
very
So
sad.
good. No, I'm not sad about
Although
this because
third gen is not as good.
no, Honda ruined this car. They've made it terrible. Like they've gone out of their way. Everybody told them what they were doing wrong. They continue to do it. So yeah, fuck them.
All right. Yep. That's fine. Yaris, very sad.
Yes,
Even
this
though it's a
one's-
Mazda 2, but
This one's
sad.
very sad. It's just because the new redesign is actually a little bit smaller. It was not designed with the American market in mind, so they'd have to do a bunch of modifications to make it DOT compliant. But yeah, I feel bad about it just because I think it was cute, but it's one of those things where I couldn't honestly get a good one.
Honestly, the Mazda 2 will still be sold. So if you want one, just go get one.
Yeah.
So, there's that. The Fusion. I thought these were already canned, but I
Whatever.
think this is just like a plug-in version that's
Let it
still
die.
around. Yep. Doesn't
Let it
matter.
die.
Lincoln Continental. Forgot those were still in production. MKZ.
Let it
Didn't know
die.
that was still being
Wait,
made.
wait. Hang on.
That's also a Fusion.
Can we-
so
all right, look at that. Now scroll up for a second. Look at the Continental. Now scroll down for a second. What makes the Continental $40,000 more expensive?
door handles. Also, it's rear-wheel drive.
But on the outside, you're saying $40,000 to have the exact same car. That is rear-wheel drive.
Yep.
And still automatic,
Yep.
and not as good as other
Optional
cars.
suicide doors.
Makes it $100,000 in limited production.
Yep.
And you could not actually buy them over the counter.
Correct.
CT6.
CT6.
Nope, did not.
I lost track when they went to Lincoln style naming.
Yeah.
I think that's just
This one actually bums me out a
the
lot.
GS?
Is the Lexus GS.
I didn't know that was still in production.
I'm really bummed out about it.
Is
but
it still rear-wheel drive?
Yes.
Oh man, that is a bummer. Reliable rear-wheel drive sedans are not common anymore.
It's because all right. So the GS is made to be a sporty version of the LS, like a slightly smaller version, like pretty sporty. But the GS kind of like it kept creeping into LS territory, and that was kind of the issue with the car because the IS is kind of occupies what the GS was, and the ES now occupies what the IS was.
Akio pies?
Yeah, occupies. But it
Because it's a Toyota?
yeah.
It's a...
But this got killed just because of the change of what the cars do, and then with the introduction of all-wheel drive, the ES was no longer just front-wheel drive only. You could get an
Yeah.
ES and a IS that were very similar. So I could see why they killed this. I'm bummed about it.
I think they're killing it because Americans are dumb and they're not buying.
Probably.
Well, also it really makes a weird place in the market more than that because I actually
Well, yeah, you're cross-shopping a 5 Series in what else?
well no that's the thing is
An
when you-
E-Class.
Well, that's the thing is like when you look at the size of this is closer to like, an L, like kind of get an LS almost. They're really not that far off. The LS is bigger.
Right, but look at a modern 5 Series and a
Yeah,
modern
I guess
E-Class.
that's a good point. But,
So,
I mean, like,
I
it's
still think
just-
those are being cross-shopped, but those segments are not doing well, and they don't make a wagon version of this. So
They don't make a wagon of it, and also it's very, very difficult to justify an extra like
Anyway,
6 inches.
kinda sad
Hang
about
on,
that
hang on,
one.
well, You can't justify the extra 6 inches of space compared to IS over like for like I think it's like $20,000 more for 6 inches of space and the exact same options. Like no, it's stupid. So move on.
we kind of care about the GS. GT350. Again, thought this was killed a while ago.
I didn't know this was a thing.
I thought they made it for like 2 years and then it was done.
Okay.
So,
So I guess they're making a GT500 now.
well, yeah.
Yeah,
They've
it
been
does-
making that for a while.
I don't care. It's a Ford.
GT350 is cooler.
There is no in-game. There's no, like, because you just have the Mustang. You have no other cool products for Ford. So, like, what is this? What does this matter?
Well, this car was the only really good Mustang because it had a Tremor TR6060 instead of the in-house Ford garbage 6-speed, and that Voodoo engine is the sauce.
Well,
other
the
than
Voodoo
that-
engine's in the GT350R.
It's in both.
Because the
Same engine.
GT350 is still a crossplane, not a flat plane.
Nope, same engine.
Is it?
Yep. Just lighter weight carbon fiber wheels and a couple other changes, but same engine.
Bummer.
RLX.
What the hell is that?
Did not know that was a thing at all. That's
Oh, so this is
bigger
the,
than a
this is-
TL?
This is the successor to the RL, which was the successor to the Legend. Yeah,
I genuinely didn't know this car existed.
I genuinely didn't give a shit about Acura. Still don't.
Yep, I don't either.
I can't think of an Acura I want.
Oh, well, I
I saw that they were killing this, yeah.
the unchanged car for the last 10 years.
You know how we was talking about last episode?
Mm-hmm.
BMW's I division really needs to have a Halo car.
And the fact that they need to maybe pay attention to it.
Yep.
Maybe
And how I
revise
was-
the product a little bit.
And kind of how I was saying that they really need to have a Halo car and they need something that like is kind of like the end goal for like people to say, look how cool this can be.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have faith that they were doing the right thing. This is why I didn't have faith they were doing the right thing.
Ah, interesting.
Because I knew they were killing this.
Ah.
And I'm like, I don't see them doing the right thing here. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Again, this got the Fiat 500 treatment in the United States.
Yeah.
Great product, not changed, stopped selling.
Yes. And that's
Company asks what went wrong.
you let it fester.
There you go.
Yeah.
SLC.
That one's a big bummer.
That's a bummer because this, well, actually, this wasn't sold with the manual anymore. Actually, I don't care.
I'm bummed actually.
The SLK that this was based on was sold as a manual. That was a big loss.
The reason I am bummed out about this is I like small Mercedes.
Okay.
I think that Mercedes does a great job, and they're extremely underrated on their smaller products.
Yeah, the A sedan is good.
Yeah, like their small products are great vehicles. Like I historically have always loved the small cars more than the large cars, with the exception of the 560.
Yeah, you're calling special
SL.
SEC.
Yeah, SEC. But that's literally the W120 or C126 is the only large Mercedes that I like more in their small products. But like historically, the 190s, the 220D, the SLKs, the hairdresser cars, even the C230 compressor, like weird hatchback thing, I thought like of the terrible, disgusting era that was available from, that was probably the product I'd buy first.
They sold pretty
Buy them.
well.
Yeah, like
2003.
yeah, and like so that's the thing is like I've always preferred small Mercedes, and that's why I'm bummed about this because this small Mercedes is dying, and you can get a class, and that's about it. So, that's why I'm bummed. But anyway, moving on. I'm not bummed enough.
I like
to cry.
convertibles, but yeah, you can
I'm
still get a
bummed, but I
124.
won't cry. I didn't-
500L.
That was still in America.
Thought that those were canceled a couple years ago.
I thought those were canceled, and they brought the 500X here.
No, they overlapped for a while, but I
Well,
really
apparently.
was under the impression that, again, this car came here in 2012.
Yeah, and not change.
They didn't change it.
Well, it came here in 2012 with a polarizing design. I hated this until the 500X came out, and I decided I liked it more because I like the A-pillar.
There was one trim level on this. It was called the Trekking when it came out that looked pretty good. The rest of the trims were really bad. But, I mean, it's a Panda. It's really hard to hate a Panda, but yeah, they changed the styling. I wish it had just been a Panda.
Yeah.
Again, they didn't change it.
You could get those with a turbo, right?
Yeah, they're all 1.4 turbos,
I'd buy it.
and you could get it with a 6-speed manual.
I'd buy this I'd buy a 6-speed manual turbo.
They're a great pickup, honestly, in the used market. In fact, this would be a decent fit for Jana, even if you could find a 6-speed one,
Yeah.
because they're big inside.
And you put a Magneti Morelli.
Yeah, the piggyback tuner on there.
NT100 in a pedal box like I got, and oh shit, that'd be a really fun car.
Yeah, but it doesn't need it either.
No, but you do that, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
becomes more fun, and you get that, and then suddenly people are getting very upset. They're having trouble with a
Comes with
500L.
guaranteed 1.4 turbo lag, though.
Yeah, perfect.
I love that.
It's a great car.
124.
I'm
And
really pissed because I actually like this more than the Miata.
And what really irks me is everyone online that comments on this post is like, oh, it's just a Miata. I'm like, it's just a worse Miata. It's an unreliable Miata. It's
No,
an
it's-
uglier Miata. I'm like, no,
It's better looking. It's a way,
way better looking.
than a Miata.
It's better to drive.
It's
Yeah.
way more fun.
If you're
It's
not
got a better
autocrossing.
interior. I honestly think that it's probably gonna be just as reliable as a Miata.
It might be more reliable.
I don't know. It's a Mazda, dude. It's
people
Mazdas
just
are fun.
in
Fine,
America
fine.
don't like.
very
the,
difficult.
They also say that it's a less powerful Miata, which is bullshit right off the
No.
back. Even an ND2, this is more powerful because they understated the 1.4T big time.
Well, not only that,
And the Mazda's fuel system's limited to 220 horsepower.
yeah, this is a much better buy. So this is the thing. The only person I've not been able to convince that this is better than a Miata is Ben Chu. And he has a vested interest because he's the face of Japanese nostalgia car. If he says with a straight face that any car not made in Japan is better than a car made in Japan, he'll actually light on fire.
This is
His
made
whole
in
body will
Japan.
light on fire. But that's the thing. It says Fiat on it, not Mazda. I know. Trust me, I've had this exact same conversation with him.
Interesting, because I've opened the door on my car several times.
I know it says Mazda. It's
does.
a Mazda.
Yeah,
but
it's made in
I know.
here,
Not it's in Hiroshima.
Hiroshima.
It's they're
One of the
actually-
two bomb
Fun
cities.
fact: the Miata is actually called the nuclear peace car because it's actually made very close to ground zero in Hiroshima.
Also, my car's slightly irradiated.
Yes, it is actually.
Nice.
It is one of the most radioactive cars you can buy. But anyway,
Spicy.
the thing is like
Really
But
goddamn good car.
I'm giving Ben the benefit of the doubt because he has a vested interest in saying Japanese is better. It's like him being caught in an Italian vehicle is like having Jim Hackett be caught in a Honda.
Fine.
Like it's one of those things where he literally has to do his thing. But that's the thing is everybody else in the world has no excuse not to like this more than
I
a
can
Miata.
touch the pedals in this car. I cannot touch the pedals in a Miata.
And
Well,
that is
they have the same interior though.
now it's slightly
It's slightly
different seat actually because the Miata's got a deeper leg like bottom on the seat.
Oh, I was
It
gonna say because I
jams-
have Miata floor mats in mine and they fit.
Yeah,
but-
so it's because of the leg space on this versus the Miata. But
They're
no, I
like slightly different.
I like these way more than the Miata. And another thing, I really just want to go out there and say that one of my least favorite classic cars ever is the original Fiat 124.
Mhm.
You put a gun to my head and pay me $1 million,
Not a good
I
car.
would not put a shit. I would not give a shit about that car. I could not be paid to care about the original 124. I hate it. I hate it. I fucking hate
Because it's
that
an old
car.
garbage Italian
I
car.
hate that so much, and there's nothing that they will ever do or say to make me want that car, and I hate it. But this one's great.
This is a good car. This is a
Yes.
genuine loss.
Yeah, this one's actually a big loss.
If you haven't driven one of these, or you think a Miata's better just because you think it's better, go drive a 124. They'll let you.
The only-
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, and that's all of them. But here, scroll down. Scroll down for a second. Stop. Oh, I thought it said the Audi TT as well. That went
Oh,
out
that would
last
have been
year.
great.
I think that one actually went away last year.
Huh.
But yes, that is slightly a bummer. However, I've got great news.
Good news, everyone.
Daihatsu has another adorable lineup
Oh my
for
god.
Tokyo Audio Salon.
So cute.
So this is their custom hijet that they're making. Daihatsu is
need
always
that.
coming in clutch to just save the day with adorable custom cars and adorable
See,
concepts.
I was just
This is
telling-
how you market a car.
So like my family's all about traveling even though that there's a pandemic going on, and I like kind of have wanderlust after not being able to travel all year, but I'm smart and I was like, "You know what, Ryan? We should really invest in either a camper trailer or like an actual camper."
Yeah.
And that's what I've been looking for, like an older version of that I was planning to spend my $2,000 stimulus on, but now I have $600 to buy one of those.
Which should be a little tough, but I mean,
Which is going to be something that I have to work on, but it's so stinking cute. That's exactly what I've been looking for.
yes,
They read my mind.
it's very cute. It's got little LED turn signals at the top that look like the eyebrows.
Slightly angry eyebrows.
Yeah, but it's not really angry. It's just like, it looks like he's just got a tough job. Honey, you have to use the bathroom now.
He's just doing a good job.
We're talking about, I'll talk about the hijet for a second. Well, because this is for you. But anyway, so the hijet's always been their truck.
I see one here.
Yes, they've been making this like literally forever. We know you actually can't import these to Minnesota. I'm pissed.
Why?
Because they're already registered. You can already register them in Minnesota as a off-road vehicle.
Okay.
So any hijet ever made from 1960 until today, you can buy and register it for non-street use in Minnesota. So I literally cannot import one because another thing I wanted to get. Like
That's really dumb.
like when I was looking at the Fiat, is I saw like a really, really well-priced Suzuki Carry with a cappuccino engine in it, because
Okay.
they're the same engine is bolted in. And so instead of having like 48 horsepower, you have 69 or 68 horsepower. But you actually can't get them in in Minnesota, which is like just the dumbest rule. And it's like, because like I was trying to get one, and Blake Hummelgard also wanted to get one, and we were both like, shit.
Get a twofer.
Yeah, like, because like I'm like, one of the reasons I wanted to get one is Jana really likes us to like take our cardboard to the recycling center where she knows for sure they'll be recycled properly. And I'm like, if I'm doing that, I need a tiny pickup because we have so much freaking cardboard that we go through.
Oh, right now, yeah.
Well, I mean, just like
moving
all
into
the
a
time
house.
because I don't want to go there like weekly. I'm
Right.
just gonna go there once I have a truckload of cardboard and bring it over.
How about a Fiat the truck?
Well, it seemed like a hijet would be a really cute daily driver. I could do that with it. I could get a dump truck version where it's got the tilt bed. It'd be great. Like, there's so many fun things I could do with a hijet. And I, like, legitimately wanted one. And then I found out I can't actually get one. I'm, like, low-key pretty pissed about it.
I bet there's a way.
But, like, all right, so they have the cute camper. But let's say you want a Fiat 124 Spider, and you can't get one because it's been discontinued. Why don't you scroll down for a second? Because the second one, they have a Daihatsu Hijet Jumbo Sportza version, which is the convertible pickup deck
Run
van.
that name by me again.
The Daihatsu Hijet Jumbo Sportza version, which is hilarious because there's nothing jumbo about this at all.
Sportza?
It looks inflatable.
I love it. It's
Oh,
so
it's
cute.
clearly a rendering, but
But this is the thing: is they're actually like making for Tokyo Auto Salon, so it will have the world's smallest TE27s on it. I like that it's got the little like roll bar on it.
It's a speedster.
Yeah, the what is it called? A tonneau cover, or tonneau bar. And then you have like the little like Sparco seats in it, and like the speedster windshield. This is great. Like I love it so much.
That thing is probably a hoot.
Daihatsu, like, and then also they've got one exhaust outlet per cylinder.
What's it? Oh, just on one side.
Yeah,
Three-cylinder.
it's a
Okay.
three-cylinder. I love this. So,
Hi-Jet Jumbo Sportza.
yeah, they're great. Like it's a little racing truck.
Oh my god.
And then they also have a Copen Spider version. Jan,
love
this
the
is the
Copen.
Copen Spider.
Oh, that's so cute.
It means coupe and open top. That's the name.
Yep.
And talk about a car that's been around forever.
I
like
was gonna say.
this like came out in 2003, and
I
they
liked
make it
those.
nonstop.
And the pixelated versions that I came to know them in.
Yes,
I
and
liked
you
them.
can still get them, and they're actually the same chassis, just with different front end and tail, like front end and taillights. But
I'm gonna
still-
call it the Mini Sportza.
Yeah, but this one's adorable. And then they also have the Daihatsu Taft off-roader, which is like a smaller Jimny.
Oh, that's fun.
Is it President Taft?
I have no idea, but it's just one of their silly names. I love it. But it's got like a little light bar and everything. And then this one is called the Daihatsu Thor. The Daihatsu Taft is actually called the Daihatsu Taft Crossfield version. And then the next one is their van called the Daihatsu Thor
Premium
version
version
D Sport. But it's so cute. Look how cute this is. It's like a tiny.
I love that there's one old man in the naming department that's been there since the 70s, and he's still in charge of all of it.
Yeah, now he's got like dementia, and he just comes up with even better names. Like, he's got just no idea what he's talking about.
Jumbo Sportza version. That's
So
it.
apparently, the katakana spelling of Thor and the katakana spelling of tall are the
Okay.
same spelling
Okay.
because of how you have to romanize names that like end with like R's.
It has a sliding door, so that's good.
Yes, so it means tall, but it also means the god of thunder. I just can't get enough of this. I want one.
Daihatsu, thank you for the brightened end of year.
God, I just love that so much. So this will be at the 2021 Tokyo Auto Salon. So if you live in Japan, you might be able to go. If you don't, you won't be able to go.
Because it's been
there's
canceled.
There is a pandemic. Well, I think Japan, they're doing all their normal stuff because they have their shit together
Well,
unlike
yeah.
us. But yeah, you can get these adorable cars. Like this adorable little camper van, which I don't know the name of it. I wish I did. But it's just a camper design.
I love that thing.
It's
That's
so
exactly,
stinking
So
perfect.
if anybody sees something like that for $600, let me know.
Okay.
It's probably called like the Daihatsu
Camp life.
Happy Flame
Yeah. Happy Flame Jumbo
Utility
Sleeper. Jumbo Sleeper.
Jumbo Sleeper.
Yeah, Happy Flame
Well,
Jumbo
and-
Sleeper.
Perfect. We've named it.
And like now that we have a cat, we can't just like spontaneously go camping.
Yes, you can. That's the beauty of a cat,
Oh,
and not a
true.
dog.
But he's
You
a
can
little
leave him
needy
alone
right
for
now.
like 4 or 5 days, and
Well,
it'll be
we
fine.
can bring him with.
Well, you can, but you can. That's the beauty of a cat. You can just leave for a while, and they're fine.
Yeah, I'm also gonna. I would like to bring him on the trip.
You could also bring him, and that's even better, because then
Yes.
you can put him in a harness and take pictures of him in the wild.
He's harness.
He's good.
He's very good with the harness, actually.
good.
He doesn't mind. We still have to work on teaching him how to walk with it, but
That's
he
fine.
doesn't mind it being put on, which is the struggle.
And he also.
He will do the "I'm broken," but if you pull him up by the harness, he'll start walking. So
Actually,
it's a
I've-
good sign.
You haven't seen it because he likes to act. He acts up more when you're around. Like he acts
He
like
does.
he's more of a naughty boy when Jana's around.
Mm.
But no.
It's because I play with him a lot more.
But yeah, no, my cat, like, I'll put him on the harness, and I'll also have him walk around the house with the harness so he gets used to it.
Yep.
And yeah, he's like 100% okay with the harness when I put it on him. And like he'll like, because whenever I put him on the patio, I put the harness on him, so he correlates the harness with having fun.
Mm.
Awesome. So he goes out on the patio, he goes down the basement. He's always very excited when he gets the harness
Yeah,
put
he's
on.
not allowed in the basement without the harness on, and he's very vocal about it when we do not let him down there. He doesn't care if Ryan's down there, but if I'm down there, the world is on fire.
Okay.
It's so bad.
Well,
But,
so
like,
is the Happy Fire
Well,
Jumbo Sleeper.
because the reason we have to have that is the basement door has an alarm on it, so like I can't arm my alarm with the basement door open.
Oh God.
So like if I leave the house, I have to make sure he's upstairs. So like I just don't put him downstairs because otherwise I might leave the house and leave him downstairs and
and
have
the
to deal with
cement's
poops
really
everywhere.
broken, so
see.
I don't. Want
I'm not
him-
worried about the cement. He's a cat. He's gonna be
Like,
fine.
well, like I just don't want him moving chunks around for us to step on.
Yeah,
and, like,
that's
getting into
that's
the,
a good point. Yeah.
The boxes. And,
Yeah.
This would be great on the stairs.
And then he doesn't have a litter box down there, so he could just leave poops.
yeah, and
Cat
our-
grenades.
Also, my favorite rug is down there too, so
Yeah.
I'd be pissed
yeah,
if
maybe-
he pooped on my rug.
And the laundry room was left a mess, and it's just he's a long-haired cat, so I don't want all that extra lint and dust.
Yeah,
on
even with
him.
short-haired cats, they
Yeah.
get behind shit, and it's like, dude, where were you? Vietnam?
Yeah, seriously, it looks
We
like
don't think
looks like
they-
he came out of a coal mine.
The
Especially
first-
Modi, yeah. Any dirt shows
the-
up on him.
We do not leave the dryer running without us being at least downstairs, like in the
In the
living
house,
room, because when we first opened the lint trap, it was full.
I don't think that they'd cleared out the lint trap in a year.
So
Mine won't even run if Corey forgets to clean it out.
Oh, this one's old. It
Okay.
runs.
so we
More heat.
and,
Yes, it
and
creates
you can
fires.
tell that like with the lint and dust everywhere around it that it has not been cleaned. So another reason why Cat is not allowed down there alone.
So
I'm sure he won't.
now we know
He
about
won't die,
my
but
cats,
it's-
and we know about Daihatsus.
I have no way to segue to my article from that. So, Mercedes' iconic hood-mounted 3-point star is absent on the 2021 W214 E-Class.
That worked really well for the 560 SEC, and nothing else since then.
Yeah, so everything else should have the 3-pointed star on the hood,
That's why people buy the car.
but all the modern Benzes have it in the grill. So, like, in the rule of thumb, is like if you had a grill-mounted 3-pointed star, you did not have a hood-mounted one, so you
Yeah.
wouldn't duplicate it. But, like, why are they ditching the trims that were, like, the more luxurious trims
Yeah.
that had a slatted grill, and they still had the hoodie star? So, I don't know, but the best part about driving a Mercedes is looking through the damn 3-pointed star in the hood.
Yeah, it's like Mr. Burns when he had his crosshairs
Yes.
hood ornament, so you
Yeah.
run down the children.
Run down the children and the
Yes.
peasants. So, now you can't run peasants down in a new
So-
E-Class.
This is the thing. All right, so my grandma was pissed when she.
Is that the Harlot one?
Yeah, my
Yes.
Harlot grandma.
Okay.
She had a
Beverly.
1986 Ford Crown Victoria. No, sorry, she had a Mercury Grand Marquis for
That's a
most of my
Panther.
childhood. Yeah, a box Panther.
Yes.
And then she gave it up in 2001 because her cousin convinced her to buy a Ford Taurus from him. That was much newer. I know.
Great.
So, and which is fine because she was like developing dementia and it was probably better. She had a smaller vehicle, it's less likely to kill people. But she hated driving it because she couldn't see where the curb was because she didn't have the hood ornament. And that's something that I think is very underrated about hood ornaments is it helps you,
Spatial awareness.
yeah, it gives you better spatial awareness at the front end of your car, especially on land yachts.
Yeah, when you have an 18 feet of hood, and your eyes are failing.
Yeah,
That's a
having
very
that there is
helpful
a very good idea.
Reference.
Her eyes are good. It's just her
Right.
brain.
Yeah,
that
her brain.
isn't.
Yeah.
No, I was
She-
making generalizations
Yes.
about old folks.
Yes, but Grandma's doing quite well for spending 60 years of her life on Valium and drinking highballs.
She
For
gave
a
me
day.
a box of jewelry for Hanukkah /
She did,
Christmas.
yes. It was all very cute stuff, wasn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
It came with a very gaudy cross and then a very gaudy Star of David.
It
was
literally
very
looks
fun.
like Dominic Toretto's cross of Fast and the Furious.
I will send you pictures of it. It's great.
Amazing.
I saw it, and the
Oh.
first thing I thought is like, if I ever get a Charger, I'm totally wearing this cross.
And the best thing is the Star and David and the cross are in the same jewelry case, and I'm like, this feels very strange.
You know what those are for? You know what she would do with those, right?
I do.
Do we want to know?
You remember how she would always take me to different churches, honey?
Yes.
And different religious
And
things?
different temples, yeah.
Yeah, she had the different things for when she went to different temples for meeting different men.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
So she would always go and she'd go to church and she'd pick up all the widowers and go out dancing with them.
Good
Beverly.
lord, this lady.
I love my grandma. She's my favorite member of my family by a mile.
Can you
She's
tell that she raised Ryan?
Yes.
so awesome.
Yes, I can.
We're going to end our episode with the word of advice my grandma always gave me whenever she found out I had a girlfriend. She said, don't only have just one.
Take that with cars.